So the Fife Property Market Update. This is a great insight if you are looking to buy in Fife, sell in Fife, or you're purely just curious into what is happening in the Fife property market. So with this particular show, this is where we do a run through of everything that was taking place last week. So this is all agencies that use Rightmove, what was new to the market as new instructions, and also what is now showing as sold, subject to concluded missives. We then do a run through of what we in particular as an agency we're doing so that you can see what we've accepted offers on, what we have got coming soon, as I know a lot of people are keen for that, and then also what has concluded so that we can disclose what was offered on it and the negotiation. So that is the middle part. And then the final part is where we do a run through of the shows that have taken place, just so that you can go back and rewatch and take some great information from. As always with the show, if you have any questions, comments that are relevant, feel free to put them and I will come back to you. Even if you are watching this as the rerun, you can still put comments and we will absolutely come back to you. Or if you prefer something a wee bit more private, then you can always drop us a message. But this is for the week commencing the 24th to the 30th. So this is where we're going to start with the figures for last week. Now, what we always do say is 1 week doesn't make a trend, but this gives you an insight into what was taking place in the market last week. So you should be able to see that on your screen just now. And now, as soon as this opened up, when I was having a little look beforehand, I got a bit of a shock when I saw the number of properties sold. So then when I did a quick scan of the micro regions and I saw obviously where the volume was, I wasn't necessarily surprised. So we will obviously do a run through, but straight off the bat, you can see 146 properties were new to the market in last week, which is kind of average. It's round about what we have been seeing. But what we haven't been seeing is that many properties accepting offers. 196 properties accepted offers last week. That is in just 1 week. All agencies that advertise on Fife, 196 is a big number and quite a difference into what is instructed and what is sold. Normally there is obviously a bit of a difference, but not as big as that. So there was obviously something in the water last week that meant a lot of properties had offers accepted on them, which is fantastic, especially for some of the micro regions that have got a wee bit of stock. But the main one and the key one out of all of those regions is the Leave and Mouse, your KY area, having a massive 61 properties accepted offers on, which is incredible. If you do a run through, you've got 10 versus 19 for Cooper. 19 is quite high as well for Cooper. They don't normally go as high as that. Obviously, it's good though because we're getting through the stock within Cooper because there is some stale properties. Now, Cooper is your KY14, KY15 postcode. East Snook, 3 versus 7. 3 is slightly lighter on what we see for new instructions, but it's great to see that 7 properties sold within the East Snook. Obviously, there is about 2 to 3 months worth of stock in the East Snook, and again, some properties that are sitting for slightly longer. So it is great to see that there were 7 properties sold. St Andrews, there was 12 properties instructed versus 5 properties sold, and 5's quite low for St Andrews. It's been getting quite a good run recently of getting properties kind of over the line, but 5 is quite low. But what we always say with these shows is 1 week does not make a trend. It just gives you a snippet. The best kind of insight is to take a look at the show when we do the monthly roundup. Now, I thought that was obviously going to be this week, but I got ahead of myself in days. It's actually going to be next week because this only takes us up to the 30th. So we have 1 more day. We had 1 more day that we had to cover in August. So next week, it'll be the monthly stats, which will give you a better roundup for the month of August. And I will also compare it to the month of July just to give you a great insight. But yeah, 5 is quite low for St Andrews, especially considering how much stock there actually is, because you've got about 5 to 6 months worth of stock in St Andrews. Now, if you are in the St Andrews KY16 postcode and you want to discuss the market in more detail, comment, reach out via private message, pick up the phone, and I am more than happy to have that conversation with you and give you a more in-depth insight into exactly why the St Andrews market is the way that it is. Now, Levermouth, the one that stands out against them all, is your KY area. Now, 39 properties instructed. Even that is high for obviously the Levermouth area. Great to see, though. Obviously, there is still plenty of activity happening, and we will continue to see that just with the obviously investment that was put into the area, the commuting links, the affordability, the style of properties, and the lifestyle that KY8 offers in terms of having all of your amenities, your commuting links, your schooling, the beach, the golf courses. You have literally got everything that you could possibly need within KY8. So that's why it is such a desirable area, and that's why it's getting results like 39 properties new to the market last week alone. Likewise, though, 61, that is a big volume of properties accepting offers, which is absolutely great to see. And we do have a couple of those. And obviously, if you watch these shows again, you'll see that our activity in the Levermouth area is really strong. So we are contributing to that number, which is great to see. But 61 is a great result. Dunfermline is always higher numbers. So that's nothing untoward being such high numbers. That is their kind of averages. Glenrothes 11 versus 24. Now, if you remember back to last week, Kirkcaldy had really, really high numbers. So it's kind of leveled out a wee bit for Kirkcaldy with 20 and 21, and Glenrothes 11 and 24. And a wee bit like Levenmouth, Glenrothes and Kirkcaldy are areas that people naturally gravitate towards in terms of affordability, amenities, commuting links. It is always a natural kind of area that people go towards. But that is the last week's figures. And as you can see, a lot of properties sold, which is great to see, especially as we're now coming into the autumn season. Now, a great show that you could actually watch is Jim Perry and I did the autumn advantages and why autumn is often kind of the underrated season. And it gives you great insights and tips into why actually this next season that we're entering into is the best time to sell. So if you are keen and you are thinking of selling, then definitely go and watch that on either our YouTube channel or our website. And that is a great one to watch. Likewise, you can also read the script for this as well. The link will be in the post for you to read and you'll see the figures. But that is the activity that was taking place last week with all agencies across Rightmove. So now we're going to do a run through of what we were doing in particular as an agency. So this is firstly properties that we have sold. So the first one, and it wasn't around for long, was Glencairn Gardens Leven. Now, as you can see right there in bold, sold in 1 week, which is absolutely incredible result. There's no doubt because it was absolutely immaculate. It was a beautifully presented home, ideal family home as well. So not long ago, I was speaking about this as a pre-portal and now it's sold. So that is a brilliant result. And we've had some great results like that in the KY8 area. Obviously sold in 1 week, sold in 2 days, sold at pre-portal. Some brilliant results. So this one in particular was a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 3-reception, extended detached villa, finished to such a high standard. Obviously you can see it's got your off-street parking, it's got the driveway, landscape gardens, it had a summer room. It really was a fantastic family home that was really well presented. So there's no doubt that it was really popular and we got it sold in a week. Now, obviously we can't disclose what it went for and the offer that was accepted. That's something you'll need to continue to watch the shows for and keep an eye out. But it was a brilliant result to get it sold in 1 week. What I will say with this, though, is there were people that missed out on this property. So if you have something similar to this in that area, reach out. If you're actually thinking of selling, we have hot, active buyers on the market that just missed out on this last week. So we know they are keen in that area. So if you do have something similar, reach out to us. We can get Perry out to you, give you your accurate valuation, discuss your next steps in the marketing that we need to do for you and your property to get results just like this. Next one, again, keeping it within the area. This one is in London Links. So this was the Links Road. And we've sold previously within this kind of development of flats. And it was a 2-bedroom upper apartment. Obviously, it had golf course and sea views, which is brilliant with this location. It is a sought after area. It's an amazing lifestyle, but you're still close to absolutely everything you could possibly need, whether it be within London Links or whether you head obviously into Leven. You've got options having things on your doorstep. But what was great is obviously, again, the result of having it sold in 2 weeks. They are desirable. Its location. This one was on for offers over 160,000. Again, I can't disclose what it went for, but great to see. Obviously, it was over the line. Seller's delighted that they got such a quick result. Likewise, the buyer is delighted that they're able to secure that property and bag it for themselves. Next one is Shaw Street in Anstruther. Now, slightly different property type as this one was actual commercial premises. Previously it was, as you can see, the Shellfish Shack, wee bit of a mouthful. So you can see it was commercial previously. Before that, we actually sold it before that as well, and it was actually a hairdresser. So we've kind of gone through the stages with this property, and we've sold it again. So this one, it had a short front area. You can see display window, short front area. We went through to the back and there was like a preparation utility area and WC, but it was commercial premises in an absolutely prime location. You are smack bang on Shaw Street. The location is absolutely fantastic, whether you're a new business, whether you are expanding your business, relocating your business. Fantastic location. Obviously, you know that it is going to be so much footfall and traffic going by, especially with the surrounding businesses as well. This one was on the market for offers over 100,000. Seller's delighted that it is now offloaded because obviously commercial, it doesn't appeal to all the market. We are looking for specific buyers. Likewise, the buyer is absolutely delighted that they've secured the property and they can now think about obviously their new journey, which is exciting. And it's going to be exciting to get a new business on the Shaw Street as well. Obviously, it's sitting empty just now, so it's going to be great to get a business out there, obviously see it thrive. I'm sure we'll be down and do some video works, obviously just to help promote, but it's going to be brilliant for obviously a new business in there. Now, finally, different location again, but we are heading to Falkland for this property. And you can see you've got the gorgeous view in the background with the countryside. So that's the Lomond Hills just directly behind you. So this was Lomond Crescent, apt of course, and it was a fantastic opportunity with this home. So as you can see, it's a semi-detached property. Now it is really spacious. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom semi-detached home. That driveway that you can see and that wooden garage comes with the property as well. So you were getting all of this front garden space here, as well as this driveway and this. So you've got a big plot, and if you saw the video, perhaps I talk about how you could open this up and extend your driveway. You could get this all landscaped. But it was a fantastic sized property. And then you've got a private garden to the rear as well. Now with this property as well, what was great is the buyers that have secured it, they're going in and they know whatever they do to that property, they are adding that instant value. So it was a fantastic opportunity to go in there, put your own stamp on it and really, really make it your own idyllic family home and know that you're adding value. Now this one was sold as seen, and it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, semi-detached home. It was on the market for offers over 185,000. So it was great to get that one over the line. So that is properties that we have sold. So this particular one, we do have people that missed out on it, especially at pre-portal. There were people that were really keen to get in this one and get through the door, but obviously an offer came through and they were absolutely delighted to accept the offer and obviously just get it wrapped up. And especially in 4 days, that was a brilliant result to get it over the line and sold in 4 days. But it did mean that there are buyers that missed out. So again, if you have a property similar to that in Falkland or any even the surrounding villages, similar to that footprint and similar to that price point that would make an ideal family home, please do reach out, because we have, again, those hot buyers that are keen to secure a property just like that one. So that is the properties that we have sold. So we obviously have them over the line now. Next is coming soon. So this is properties that are coming to market with ourselves, and we are going to be doing the pre-portals. Now, a pre-portal is a full video walkthrough. It's your preview of a property before it goes to your Rightmove, your Zoopla, and your S1 Homes. So it's your prime opportunity to watch that full video walkthrough, because it's almost like a virtual viewing. You are seeing the property in all of its detail and you're doing the full walkthrough. We then talk you through location, and then at the very end we tell you price point. If that property ticks all your boxes and you want to secure it before it does get put out to the wider audiences, then there is 2 criteria that you need to follow. First one is you're a cash buyer, cash in the bank, and you are ready to make that offer. And that offer is an offer that seller is absolutely wanting to snap your hand off. It's an offer that they just can't refuse. It makes them actually just go, accept that, let's not go to market. That's what we're looking for. This is the prime opportunity if you're in that position to secure that property. So you need to watch the full walkthrough. If it does tick your boxes, reach out to us and we can get you a viewing and get you through the door. Now, this is where you will see on our Facebook pages, pre-portal and then the agent's face. Now, wherever you're looking to purchase a property, follow that relevant page. So we have a page for each micro region that we cover within Fife. So make sure you're following the relevant pages. You're looking for that pre-portal. watch it. If it ticks your boxes, reach out. So the first one that you will see is Sockhope Links Caravan Park in Creole. Now we've had a lot of activity on this particular site, 3 recent sales, and we've actually got another one coming, which is great because again, there is people that are looking for those particular properties. Obviously, the fact that you don't have to pay that additional dwelling tax while still getting to soak up the incredible location and the lifestyle and obviously that holiday destination, they do get snapped up. So that one is a 3-bedroom one and it is in a prime position. You are on the right side of the site. You're literally right on the seafront, which is great because your views are panoramic and it's a really well presented one as well. I'm there on Wednesday, fingers crossed for the weather. I'm there on Wednesday doing the pre-portal, so keep a look out. And there is also, I'm also doing a pre-portal for a property just outside Daresy, Dron Court. It's a really quaint, charming cottage tucked away. You would never know it's there unless you are actually up that way and you've perhaps got lost. So it's in a really great location that you're nice and private, but you are close to everything because you've got Daresy, you've got Balmillo, you've got St Andrews, you've got Cooper, you've got Dundee. It is such a great kind of prime spot to just commute in all different directions. You've got amenities close by, you've got schooling, you've got the golf courses. You really do have everything. And it's such a quaint wee cottage tucked away. And what's great with this one is actually you've got your own private enclosed garden that the other properties don't have and don't have access to. While there's that shared courtyard area, you've got your own private garden that's tucked away because you are in that prime position out of the whole steading. So that one is going to be a great one. I'm due to be there on Friday, so do keep a lookout on our Cooper page and our St Andrews page for that one. And then we're going to talk about properties that are now over the line. So what have completed and what offers were negotiated on them. So the first one is Catherine Street in Cooper. It's right on the end. So where the big roundabout is, and you've got it right on the area. It's a period building, period property. It's actually classed as the Royal Mews. So it's 20 Royal Mews and it is right there on Catherine Street, right on the corner. And because of its position, there is actually views with this particular apartment that are right over the park. Which is lovely views, and it was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom upper apartment. Great location, as I say, you are right kind of on that roundabout, so you can obviously head up to Dundee, St Andrews, you can go obviously along and around to the train station. It's great location, and it was in a beautiful period property, really spacious rooms as well. The lounge of this room was an amazing size. And to get a 2-bedroom apartment with 2 bathrooms is brilliant. And this one sold for 105,000. Next one was Lawview in Leven. Again, we've had a lot of activity within that development, so it was great to see. And this one was snapped up really quickly as well. So this particular one was a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-reception, extended detached property. It's a sought after, obviously, development. Great builds, great location, having everything on your doorstep. And it was really high standard, really modern interiors, fantastic family home. So this one sold for 232,000, and sellers are delighted because they were able to move on with their journey. But this particular buyer of this property was absolutely over the moon. They have been desperate to secure something in that development. So when that came up, they were absolutely delighted and jumped. So it was great to see that obviously we've got both buyer and seller absolutely delighted. So that is what we've sold. Now, finally, we will do a run through of the shows. So what has taken place, you know what to go back and re-watch. Now, as always, on a Monday, you have Richard Cook and Jim Parker live doing the Wealth Creation Show. And this particular time, it was all about delivering results. And actually, how delivering results is the process of achieving strategic objectives and desired outcomes through effective planning, and monitoring and execution as well. It requires a kind of deliberate, focused effort that really does align with individuals and also team actions to then achieve those overall goals. In a results-driven culture, individuals need to understand their roles, firstly, and also how to take the ownership of their tasks. Leaders obviously then need to set kind of expectations and reinforce the importance of the work and identify the kind of sponsorship kind of spine and how they take accountability for that. And the chain of leaders are then accountable for driving that change. Is this perhaps something that sounds like it would appeal to you? Then that is a great show to go and watch. As I say, you've got Jim Parker, so one of the UK's most successful property investors, and Richard Cook, the lettings director, on hand discussing that. Now, it was live yesterday, but you can watch the rerun. And likewise with the rerun, you can still comment and they will come back to you. So if you have any brilliant kind of insights, if you have any brilliant results, a case study, or even any questions, feel free to put it and they will absolutely come back to you. Another show that was done was the house price index. So Perry actually did this yesterday, and it is how all the Scottish house price index report for June, because that's the latest data is June, and how this could perhaps be kind of impacting the Scottish property market for both buyers and sellers alike. Now, I'm sure there was another show as well. Yes, so there was actually one that's a brilliant if you're a landlord, because it was the landlord's cost savings and how to slash your buy to let expenses. Because obviously, mortgage rates, if you keep an eye on things, they are at their kind of lowest right now for base rates. Insurance premiums are slowly coming down finally, and new legislation is on the horizon. So the planets are aligned for a review of your rental property and what that means for you moving forward. It is potentially your opportunity to slash costs, increase income, and set up your buy to let for the absolute maximum profitability. And it's not just about doing it for now, it's about doing it for many years to come and getting yourself organized just now. So that is a great one to go back and watch. Again, Richard Cook and Jim Parker were on hand discussing that, and there was 5 key areas where you can get more out of that investment. Now, obviously, that is if you are a landlord, or even if it's something you're looking to venture into, that would be a great one to watch. And again, if you do have any questions, case studies, or even any insights, feel free to obviously put them in the comments or message privately, and we are more than happy to help. So that is the shows that have taken place. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Even if you're watching this as a rerun or message privately, you can also click the link and read through it to get all the information. This is it for another week. Next week, there will be the whole of August's roundup that I'm going to do against July's to give you a great insight for 2 months. So that is going to be next Tuesday. But obviously, in the meantime, if there is anything, feel free to reach out with us, and I hope you have a great day. All the best. Take care.